Everyone, it's Kathy Champion and you're back with me at Kathy's Random Acts of Stampin'. I'm your independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Gastonia, North Carolina. Thanks so much for tuning in. Today is going to be another installment of I Didn't Know I Needed to Know That. And this is going to be a quick video, so sit tight and you can take some notes if you like, or you can always come back and refer to this video. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so. You can find all of my tips under I Didn't Know I Needed to Know That. It's in a playlist, so just go into my videos and then click on playlist and you will see that group of videos there, and it's all kinds of tips and tricks and things to make your crafting life a little bit easier. So anyway, today what I thought about doing was, you know, we all like to send pretty cards and we love to decorate our envelopes, but how many times have you messed up an envelope in trying to stamp it or whatever? Well, I'm going to show you a real easy way to get a really good stamp on your flap of your envelope without going over the edges or making a mess or anything else. It's kind of foolproof. And what we're going to do is we're going to use background stamps, and this is one of the newer ones from the mini catalog, the holiday catalog as I like to call it, and this one's called Candy Canes. Now, who wouldn't love to get a Christmas card with candy canes on the back? You're going to automatically know that this is a Christmas card as soon as you open the mailbox. There are several ways that you can do this. If you have a glass mat, this is a We Are Memory Keepers. Stampin' Up! Does not have glass mats. They use their grid paper for their mats. But if you have a glass mat, if you don't have a glass mat, let me show you what else you can use. If you have a Stamparatus, that would be another item that you could use. And all you would need to use out of it would be one of the plates. So all you'd have to do is put down one of your plates, just like that, and adhere your stamp to it. You just need something that stamp is going to grip to. I'm going to actually use my my glass mat because it's there and it's really easy to use. Also, Stampin' Up! Does carry the large stamp block that will accommodate a full background stamp, and they look like this. And this one is the F stamp block, and as you can see, you can lay that down on your work surface. You can put the stamp down on it just like this, and you can use it that way. So whatever your preference is, whatever item you had, I wanted to give you several ways. Now, if you have a standard grip mat, as long as it's nice and clean, you can actually stick this to a regular, like your black self-healing. Just make sure you clean it good and dry it before you put this down on it. You could use that as well. So lots of options to be able to use this little trick. So we are going to we're going to go ahead and put this down like right here, and I want to make sure that y'all can see what I'm doing. So the next thing you want to do is you want to take one of our envelopes, and these are the medium envelopes that Stampin' Up! Sells, and this is in the basic white. And what you want to do is take a piece of copy paper, and all you want to do is put your envelope in like this, and I did it earlier and folded it. So if you got a piece of paper, just put it in the flap and then fold it in half over your card, just like this, just like that. And then what you're going to do is we're going to ink up our stamp, and I've got some real red because I thought, you know, we could do it in green, but don't we just love a red candy cane? So I'm gonna ink it up long ways because the stamp is going, the envelope flap is longer. So I'm gonna stamp it like right along here, and I'm just gonna ink that up really good with that real red ink. And I'll have all the items listed below in the description, so if you want to pick up any of these items so that you can make beautiful envelopes for the holiday season or any season. I'm also going to show you using another stamp, so it doesn't have to be just your holiday cards. So now I'm going to lay that down just like that, and I'm going to rub it. I should have laid it up just a little bit further, but that's okay. And then when you lift it up, you've got these candy canes, and yeah, see, we should have, let's try that one again. We should have taken it over to the edge or maybe even angled it. So let's do one more. And all you're going to do is each time you're going to just put that envelope back in that spot where you had it. This time I think we're going to go like this so we make sure we get the entire stamp. So let's go ahead and ink it up again. You know, it's better for me to make the mistakes than for you. So, you know, when you're doing this, you might want to lay your envelope crossways like this, just to make sure you're getting that flap completely on that stamp. And just, you know, really give it a good rub. If you wanted to lay another stamp block on top of it and just smash it, you could do that. And there we go. How pretty is that? So easy and so much fun. So let me, I'm going to take this piece. I've got red ink on my hands, so I'm going to lay this over and let it dry. And I'm going to grab another piece of copy paper. Of course, I've got red ink on my fingers. You're going to probably get your fingers inky in this process, but it's okay. The ink wipes off. And I would say when you're doing this, have you an alcohol wipe readily available, and that will help you not go through what I just did. So again, you just want to put that in there and fold it over. See how I did that? Just take a piece of copy paper and stick it down where the flap is showing, and then fold it under, crease it. And then you've got this whole space to work. Let me get a cloth, and I'm going to use some of my Stampin' Mist to clean the stamp. So you know that red pigment ink can be a booger. So we're going to clean that off really good. And you see how pigmented that red ink is. And if you're working with any type of photopolymer stamps, they will, the red ink, along with some of the other darker colors, anything that has a high pigmentation, will stain your photopolymer stamps, but it doesn't mean it's messed up. It's just well loved. I always say that a used stamp is a stained stamp, which makes it a very loved stamp. So, you know, don't be afraid if your stamps get a little bit stained from time to time. That's going to happen. It's the nature of the of stamping. But the cling stamps, any of the red rubber stamps like this, these are going to clean off so good every time. So I'm going to clean my surface. And I'm going to lay this one over here. And then we're going to grab this one. This is called Wild Rose, and it's another one of our background stamps. And look how pretty that is. Now, I didn't get my sticker on here completely straight, but that's okay. It doesn't matter because our stamp is still going to stamp the same. And here we can see exactly where the images are. So I'm going to put that down, and I'm not going to use the red for this, so let's close that red up. I'm going to use a Balmy Blue, and this just goes to show that you can use different colored inks, different occasions, whatever you need to use your, however you want to decorate your envelopes. And I think this is just such a neat trick, and I just had to bring it to y'all and let you see how easy it is to decorate and make your envelopes beautiful. So again, I'm going to wipe my fingers off with an alcohol wipe. And just to get that red ink off, because I do not want to transfer that onto my envelope. And I think we're good. So now I'm going to take this flap and I'm going to hold it down. And again, I'm going to go across here just like that and press. And like I said, if you want to use a stamp block to press against it, you can do that. Whatever works for you. So press it down really good and then lift it up. Oh, we missed a corner. Let's see if we can grab a little bit of ink on that corner. Oh, pretty good. So you can salvage. If you make a mistake, let's pull that off so you can see the full effect. If you make a mistake, you can fix it. So just by putting that down on that edge, look how beautiful that is. Love it. So that's one way that we can decorate our envelopes. And I think everybody knows this other trick, but I think it's worth its while to go back over it and just kind of remind people that we can use our scraps of designer series paper, solid cardstock. You can use your stencils and decorate your flaps. Just whatever. And using this is another great way to use your stencils, because you could take and put your envelope down. Let's see, do I have another one? Nope, I can grab one though. And these are the two that we just did. So pretty. And let's pull this stamp up. I'm going to lay him over here. If we did a stencil, let's get this out of our way before I put my hand in it. So let's say we have an envelope, and let's say we wanted to stencil it. So again, we're going to put our envelope in just like we did before, and I would suggest to even tape down your paper, and then you could grab a stencil. And let's see, I have some of these ones that right here at my hand. These are the ones that came in the peppermint and gingerbread suite. And let's say we wanted to do, let's try the snowflakes. That would be pretty, wouldn't it? For a winter card, why not? So we could put that down just like this. And I would suggest taping it down. So let's see if I've got some washi tape that we can use. Well, I don't see washi tape, but we got some Scotch tape, so we'll use that. Oop, well, I had Scotch tape. We'll tear this piece in half, and I'm just going to put a little piece on each side. I don't want it to go over top where it's going to infringe on the area. But you can just put that down just like that. And see, it's sticking to your paper, so that's a good thing. And I'm going to grab that Balmy Blue again. And we're going to get one of our blending brushes. Now you could use an ink dauber or a blending brush. You could use a sponge. Whatever I've even seen people do cotton balls. I think the cotton balls absorb way too much ink though. Now remember, anytime you're using these brushes, you never want to come down in your spot. You want to tap off, kind of get the ink going. And it didn't look like we picked up a whole lot of ink on that, so let's run it across there a few times. Okay, and now we're just going to come in and we're just going to go in circular motions across that flap. Just like that. And I'm coming down further than I think my image needs to be, because I just want to make sure that I'm getting that flap completely covered. And I think that looks really good. So now let's put that brush up, and we're going to come and peel this off just like that. And you can take that to the sink and wash that stencil, and it will be like brand new. There's another beautiful way to do your flaps on your envelopes. How cool is that? So the other thing, like I said, and I think a lot of us know about this, and that's using some of our scraps of designer series paper. So I have one pack that I have used and used and used, and y'all have seen me. And I have strips like this. All you need is a 2-inch strip. So that right there will work. Actually, that's going in the wrong direction. Let's find a piece that's going in the right direction. And that's not quite wide enough. You have to make sure you have a scrap that's wide enough to cover and make sure it's going in the right direction. And you want it to be about 6 by 2. This one right here will work. So let's make an envelope using it. I've got bunches of envelopes now that will be decorated. How neat is that? And you can sit down even when you're just not sure of what you want to craft. Remember, you can always sit down and do a project like this that doesn't take a whole lot of thought, and you can decorate a bunch of envelopes, and who knows, you may get inspiration while you're doing this. And so I'm just going to cut a 2-inch strip off of that, and let's grab an envelope. Make sure the 2 inches is what I need. And 2 inches will work because we can trim that down. We can actually trim that down. See, it's not coming all. Should have went about 2 1/4. I tell you what, let's go ahead and do 2 1/4 because I want this to be as easy as possible for you. So I should have measured my envelope. You know the old saying, measure twice, cut once. But I didn't. So do as I say, not as I do. How many of y'all heard that when you were a kid growing up? So make sure you're aware of which way your pattern's going. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some Stampin' Seal on the back of the... Better yet, I think I'm going to use glue. And I'll tell you why. The glue is going to allow me to move this around a little bit, which will allow me to wiggle it and get it just where I want it before I press it and seal it. So, all right, I'm going to hold that envelope flap like this, and I want to butt this right up to the edge of that fold, but not over it. And can you see why the liquid glue works good for this? Because now you've got time to wiggle it and make sure you're getting it exactly where you want it before you commit. And then once we do this, we are pretty much committed. And if you have a little bit of ooze out, it's fine. It's on the back of this envelope and this piece of scrap paper. So just press it out. I like to take a bone folder and kind of iron my glue. And the reason I like to do that, it helps not have the glue spots showing through your piece for one thing. So any excess glue that you get, just make sure you peel, kind of roll that off. And then we're going to take our paper snips and we're going to turn this over, and all we have to do now is follow the line along our envelope and just cut around it. And it's so easy because you've got the edge of that envelope as your guide, and you can just trim this all the way around. If you want to give it just a tiny bit of a border, you can. But you don't have to. You can come right around and right up next to it. Just like that. And then look what a beautiful envelope you have. So that's another way that we can decorate our envelopes. You can also stamp a piece of colored cardstock if you wanted a tone on tone. And another thing that would be beautiful, like with the snowflakes, if you put a snowflake right here, that is another beautiful element. Or if you put a flower on this one. It doesn't have to be that same flower, just any flower that will coordinate. With the candy canes, you could do a little peppermint, like the peppermint stamps that we had in the frosted gingerbread. Look at these beautiful little peppermints. One of those would be so cute in the red. This is all one stamp, and you could stamp this right in the corner of that envelope. And how stinking cute would that be? Let's do that. Why not? We're here, and you know, I said I was going to make this a short video, and it may end up being a little bit longer because as I was going, my wheels just started turning, and I couldn't help myself. I just wanted to keep showing you different techniques and ways that you could do this. When I first came on, my entire process was just going to be to show you how to do it with the background stamp. But there you go. Now this one, oh, I did it on the wrong one. Oh well, you know, things happen. We'll do it on this one. Make sure you look at your envelope before you actually stamp it. Okay, there we go. So there's our peppermints, and there is our little candies. So that worked out beautifully, and so simple, and just a wonderful way to get a little extra something on your envelope. Now I got some red ink across the top of this. What would be beautiful to do with there would be to camouflage that. There's always ways to fix things when you are a crafter. You know, we learn to fix our mistakes. Let me show you what I would do with that. I would go into my Real Red. My little Bella girl, she's in here with me, and she is snoring up a storm. I would just go in and grab a piece of Real Red that's long enough. That one's not quite long enough. And that's not working. Let's see if we got another piece that, oh, this will be long enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off a piece that is about, and you notice I'm going to measure this time. I want to make sure that it's going to come down and cover all of my boo-boos, and that seems to be the longest one right there, and a 1/4 inch looks like it's going to cover it. So I'm just going to cut a 1/4 inch of red off of this. So take that to the 1/4 inch, and I'm cutting it to the right hand side. Another reason why I love this trimmer. And I am going to put this right here. And glue that down right across that edge. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to do it with my glue. So I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to run just a bead of glue along there, about to there, and then I'm going to lay that down just like that. And if you wanted to make it match, you could also do it across the bottom. There we go. And then I'll just take my paper snips and turn that over, snip that off. And now you've got a beautiful envelope that's been decorated. We're also going to grab that Real Red. Maybe we'll do the bottom and then put the little peppermints. We'll see how that'll look. So I just want to inspire you to think outside the box when it comes to decorating your envelopes. You could also stamp a little message down here. You could stamp it in the same color ink that you decorated the back. It could be like, you know, Happy Mail, sending you thoughts, I love you, you know, to my favorite person, you're in my prayers. I mean, there's just so many different ways that you could communicate on the outside of your envelope what your card says on the inside. It might be thank you. You just never know. So we're going to do the same thing again. I'm going to take this little strip. Another great way to jazz up your envelopes and make them as festive as what's on the inside. That is always a plus. Decorate. You know it's what we do the best. So put this piece down right across the bottom. Up, down a little bit more. And, oop. Just like that. Press it in place. Turn it over. Snip it. Just like that, and now we can stamp the candies in the corner. And this way your envelope is going to be as pretty on as the card that you send in it. We camouflaged a boo-boo. We have this beautiful candy cane. Isn't that gorgeous? And now we're ready to address it and send it on its way. So I am sure that I'm going to be doing a lot of these during the Christmas season for my Christmas cards that I'm going to send out. So I'm hoping that maybe these videos and these little techniques that I showed you will get you ready for your Christmas card mailing. And it would be something that you could enjoy doing in your craft room. So let me know what you think of this tip, and if this is something that you would try, and if you like it. And hopefully I can come up with some more ideas on how to decorate our envelopes. And like I said, there's so many ways. Let's not forget the one that I made a boo-boo on. Not only, yeah, we definitely made a boo-boo, but that one was done with Designer Series paper. This one was done with a stencil. These two were done with a background stamp. So many different ways to make your envelopes beautiful and festive and decorative. So I hope that you enjoyed this little tip. I hope it's something you'll try. And again, I'm reminding you, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so. I'm working hard every day to build my subscriber base up. And if you're interested in Stampin' Up products, please reach out to me. And if you're interested in becoming a demonstrator, now through the end of September is a great time to sign up. So reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. If you call me and I don't answer, please leave me a message along with your phone number, and I will get back with you as soon as I possibly can. God bless and keep you. And as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is worthy, so worthy of our praise and our honor and our glory. So until we craft again, bye-bye.